Radio. Phone number is 855-839, a simple 1210. In studio with me today is Peter Mimo and Eric Simpkin. We have a caller, Damon Galdo. Good morning. Welcome to Uncle Barry and my guests. What's on your mind, my friend?
How you doing, Barry? Thank you for having me on.
Of course, my brother.
So, my name is Damon Galdo. I'm a congressional candidate for District 1 in New Jersey. And I'm calling in to talk about
PhD.
basically your topics today. And you have Eric on. And Eric is, he's the man.
All right, stand by, Rick.
Yes, he is. He brings a punch, doesn't he, Damon?
Yeah, no, I love him to death.
And he doesn't hold back.
No, I don't either. And that's what I love about him. You have to get out there. You have to do something to make change. You have to not. You can't be afraid to make your voices heard, and that's the problem.
All right, stand by, Seth.
People are afraid. It's like everyday people. Say people like me, you, Eric. We go to work every day. We pay our taxes. We have families, we have kids, and we just want to live the American dream. So you kind of don't pay attention to what's going on. So when you talk about the pandemic and all that, and that's when people start to realize, hey, what the heck is going on in our schools? Yep. So I want to talk about, the legal obligations, and free speech, now concerns that college universities have regarding their students. Now, one, you have the First Amendment. Now, the First Amendment doesn't always apply the same as it does in private universities as it does in public universities. So what's going on with the anti-Semitism and everything else with these protests and everything, that's what I'm referring to. So the First Amendment suggests that you cannot express a viewpoint discrimination on college campuses. Now, that fully applies to public universities, for example, but if I wanted to speak at a public university, as long as a student filed a petition and I adhere to their schedule, they could not prevent me from doing so.
This is all true.
At a private university, if a student filed a petition for me to speak and I was approved, and then the far left crybaby students that don't understand that feelings do not matter when it comes to the truth, get up in arms about it, the faculty will bow down to the woke.
Yeah. Listen, before I let you go, my board is lit up like crazy. I know you're having an event in a short period of time. Give us the date, give us the time, and tell us quickly what's going on, Damon.
Okay, on May 10th, doors open at 5 o'clock, Victory Bar and Grill. It's on Route 73 in West Berlin.
Okay.
I have country music artist Trey Tower is bringing country to New Jersey. He's coming up to do an event for me. And if you go to votedamongaldo.com, that's votedamongaldo.com, it's the first thing you see. You can buy a ticket there. And I want everyone to come. I'd love to see everybody. Don't look at it as a political fundraiser. I'm only going to talk for 15 minutes, and then we're just going to have fun. That's the main thing.
Yeah, Peter.
Yes,
listen, thank you so much for the call, Damon. We will look forward in seeing you on that night and hope it's a success story for all of us, including yourself.
So now,
Rick Short, you are live on the air with Uncle Barry and friends. Good morning. Rick, are you there?
Mr. Short. Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Tell
I'm
us,
here.
I know
Thank
you had an interesting experience this week. Tell Peter and obviously, what is your name over there? Mr. Eric and myself. Tell us what happened to you this week.
Oh, boy. Well, here's the story. I've been banned from school property during school hours. I'm allowed to go to sporting events to watch my kids. But because I still spoke the truth at a school board meeting, I have now been banned. I might be the only father in the state of New Jersey that is banned from school property during school hours.
Well, I know Eric had an experience with that. Why don't you tell us what happened to you, Eric?
Rick has a student in the school, though. I did not. All I wanted to do was pass out literature on the street as parents were picking up. Got a cease and desist letter. Rick knows the story, but Rick's story is much more impactful.
Steve, where are you?
His child's there, and it would be very difficult to stop me from going to see my
let's
kid.
try
If I
you up
needed
there,
to. I can
Steve.
tell you
Stand
that
by.
right now.
Yeah, Peter, your thoughts.
My thoughts are that these school battles are going to continue to manifest themselves, and they're going to get worse and worse and worse. I get back to the point where, we got to change the leadership. It's got to come from the top. You got to fight these school boards. You got to get in on the school board. Nicole Owen's daughter has done a great job with that.
Yeah.
We have to keep that spirit going. And part of the problem is we have to get the message out. And if they don't let people like Eric and Mr. Short get out there and get the message out, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Rick, any last thoughts?
Well, it's, you're going to think I'm crazy, but the truth is like I have truth that we have consultants that are Marxists, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm exposing the truth. We have a consultant that works with the Cherry Hill West schools that is a Marxist, and they're trying to suppress me.
Hard to believe. Listen, thank you so much for the call. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Put up your dukes and never stop fighting. Seth Grossman, libertyandprosperity.com. Welcome. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. You brought me out a little early. So
Yes, I did. I know
just getting ready.
you're not ready for me yet. You must be reading some history book over there.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. First, with regard to school boards, it is so important to change the culture of our school boards.
Yep.
And we have elected school boards in most districts in New Jersey, and everybody needs to know that to be a candidate for the school board, you have to file your petition. I believe it's before July 30th this year.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to run, and all you need to get on the ballot are 10 signatures. But getting on the ballot is not an achievement. To make any real change, you got to get on the ballot, you got to win the election, and then you have to have an agenda. You have to be prepared to give up considerable time to get a job done. For example, you can't even win an election if you just run by yourself. You have to bracket with 2 or 3 other members so you have a ticket, because the other side is organized against you. The school board administrators, the teachers union, the library unions, all stacked against you, and they do these dirty tricks. Like what they'll do is before the election, they will actually use the school telephone texting system to text voters who are in the school system, telling them to get to vote to boost the turnout for them, and they don't do it for you. So I'll be giving a seminar on that on May 13th in Atlantic County at the it's called the New Life Assembly Church in Egg Harbor Township. There'll be a lot of publicity about that.
Good.
Second thing, I understand the frustration of not being able to hand out literature at a public event. Some old timers may recall that when Governor Corzine wanted to hock or mortgage our toll roads, I was handing out literature at his town meetings, and I got arrested for doing that in complete violation of the First Amendment. I ended up suing them. There was a settlement. But if the police or the school board told you to stop doing it, the law says you have to stop doing it. But that doesn't mean you can't get a lawyer and sue for the right to hand out that stuff. And anyone wants to contact me about them, I still have the cases on file of what you have to do.
Seth, I
But
know. Let me hold you up for 1 second. I know Peter. I missed you last week. I missed Peter last week. Peter, I know you wanted to jump in and talk to Seth about what's going on in Israel with Bibi. Why don't you address that with him, please?
Well, Seth, the way I see it, and it's good to see you, I don't know if you gave your website yet, libertyandprosperity.com.
Yeah, great website.
Yes.
Right? Great website.
Great website.
So, what I'm seeing now, Seth, is they just did the appropriation bill. They appropriated $9 million for quote unquote Gaza. That money is going directly to Hamas, who will use that to buy bullets, to buy rockets, and to kill more Jewish people. How can we get away with funding both sides? What kind of a friend gives money to the person that their ally is fighting? I don't understand that. Can you explain that to me? And also, I want you to comment on the International Criminal Court that's preparing arrest warrants for Mr. Netanyahu and his cabinet.
Yeah, but Seth, before you comment, my God, if that went through, anybody could get arrested. It doesn't make sense to me. We send dignitaries overseas, just arrest them. It doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, Seth.
Well, there are nuances, and so if a police officer tells you you can't
hand out literature, even if the police officer is wrong, and even if it's blatantly unconstitutional. You do not have a right to defy the police officer. You've got to submit. The time to challenge it is in court, and I'll talk to anyone in that situation because I went through it, I litigated it. You know, I have a lot of experience in the law. Going back to Israel, I think we got to get to the fundamental problem. What you're talking about are the symptoms of the disease. The heart of the disease is the culture. Basically, Margaret Thatcher, excellent Prime Minister of England in the 1980s, often said, you can't win the election until you first win the culture. You got to win the culture first, then you win the election. And what's the culture that has been pumped into our kids and in our society in almost every Disney cartoon, every media story, every college for the past 50 years? And it's what they call a binary system. And there's just an excellent, writings by someone called Batya Unger. It was picked up by Elon Musk. It's all over Twitter. But let me give you a rundown. It's called the binary philosophy, or the binary view of everything going on. And that is where there are two classes of people: oppressors who have power and victims who have no power. And we've replaced the Bible values of right and wrong. You shall not kill, you shall not lie, you shall not covet. But what we've done is, if you're a member of a victim class, no matter how horrible you are, you're virtuous. And if you're a member of an oppressor class, like being white, Israeli, Jewish, or Christian, then no matter how many good things you do, it doesn't matter because you're an evil oppressor. And that's the culture that has poisoned our society. We've got to deal with that.
Yep.
And we have all that posted at libertyandprosperity.com.
Listen, Seth, we appreciate the call. It looks like we're up against the break. We will see you next weekend. Gentlemen.
Have a great week, Seth.
There you go. Gentlemen, obviously it looks like we're up against this break. You're